Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Will with Schedulefly, and I'm really excited today to have Amy Usefara on the phone. She's down in South Carolina in Hilton Head and Bluffton with Chow and Truffles, and those are the two concepts that are owned by Price Beal, who was on the podcast a few months ago. And Price was awesome, and I really enjoyed talking to him and have a lot of respect for him. And when I asked him if he had any folks on his team that were great at what they do and love what they do and may enjoy talking about it, he immediately connected with me with Amy. So Amy's a GM at Chow Daddy's, and then she's also managing over at Truffles. So she's juggling a lot right now and doing a great job with it and having a lot of fun with it, but certainly busy. So thank you, Amy, for taking the time today.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure.
Okay, so I always ask people to start me out with how did you get started and how and when did you get started in hospitality?
So actually about 6 years ago, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I actually went to school for elementary education. So I came down here about 6 years ago, and kind of just it fell into my lap. Like I applied just to kind of help out, just be a server, and from then on, I worked my way to bartending, and then worked my way up as a manager with the company. So that's kind of how it all started.
Well, that's a really good track for you over the last 6 years. You're taking on a lot of responsibility and growing within the business. So I mean, something clicked clearly with hospitality. What about it do you love?
I don't know, just the interactions with, employees and also with the guests. Like I just love being able to talk to people and getting to know different people and having that responsibility to kind of learn and also to teach and make things better. Just building those relationships with people just really, I kind of really enjoyed, and that's why, I've been sticking with it because, I've been really enjoying what I do.
Well, yours is a great example of somebody that came in and started on the floor, started serving, probably, just didn't really think this is going to be something you may turn into a career, but now you've really grown. And I think it's one of the great things about, independently owned restaurants and small groups like y'all have down there is as the business grows, you have opportunities to grow within the organization. And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, and you've really done a good job with that. What do you think, like, if you were sitting down giving somebody that was starting out, let's say, as a server that maybe says, I'd love to be kind of where you are one day, what is some advice you would give that person?
Just to work hard, like have that great work ethic. Being able to like kind of prove yourself and, being able to learn from other people. Like I've learned so much from just with being with this company. I learn like something new every day, and just being able to take that in and, kind of build yourself from that, making yourself like a better person, better manager, better employee, and you like can really go far with that.
What have you learned from Price since you've been there?
Oh wow, a lot, a lot. Just the way he runs like the his restaurants is just different. I can't imagine like just the hospitality, just being so making sure like the guests are so happy, like what to do for them. Just being so gracious, and even with his employees, just being able to have such great relationships, and that's like kind of where it starts. You have to start with the employees in the restaurant, making sure that you have such a good rapport and just like a good team to be able to have these restaurants, and then just kind of like making sure that, like I said, everyone's happy, guests as well.
Yeah, he does a really good job of that. I could tell when I spoke with him, and is a good role model, good mentor, for sure. And so let me ask you this: so you've got one Chow Daddies, one Truffles. You're bouncing between the two. How do you? Are they both in? Are both of them? Are they nearby? I know Bluffton and Hilton Head. Are you?
Yeah, they're pretty close. Basically, but there are two different concepts. Like one's Chat is a bit more casual, and whereas Truffles is a little more upscale, and and that's kind of like that's where I get to see like both of the just different atmosphere and work vibe and which I love that, getting the opportunity, and also like to work with the different employees, and like one's a little more fast paced, and like I said, I would think Chow Daddy's is definitely more, you're in there faster, people, Truffles, come, work, business, meetings, or, special occasions. So, you get the different clientele, and, we get a lot of the same customers actually come to Chow Daddy's and Truffles. So that's really cool to see, you know, coming to both places. So I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What are some of the what are some of the challenges about what you do?
Um, Definitely, making sure that you have the right team members. Making sure that, because not everyone's out to, for this restaurant, you want to make sure that you have a great team, and, just kind of like retraining people, and, making sure that it's a good fit. And then, obviously, labor is another thing, just making sure that's controlled. And, um,
Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? How do you do a good job of trying to control labor?
so basically, you want to make sure that you have the people that you need to have while they're there. If you have, not many customers in the building, you want to make sure that you don't have too many people, too many cooks on, too many servers, and, making sure servers are, you don't have too many, so they all get to make, and, the right amount of money, and they're happy too. So kind of having that balance there.
That's a tricky balance. Is that something you just kind of learn through trial and error and figure out over time? I
Yeah,
mean, is it?
it's a day by day thing, because
Yeah.
every single day is different. Some days are, you get that unexpected, say, lunch rush that you weren't expecting, and sometimes you might not have enough people for that, so that can get tricky. Or at nighttime, sometimes you get a ton of people coming in after 9, and where you don't have that many people, but it's kind of dealing with that on the spot, and you have to kind of be able to figure it out, like right then and there. And sometimes where that's your job as a manager, okay, sometimes you have to help out in the back cooking, or where you're needed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How do you what do you try to do to, like, how do you mentor and inspire people, Amy, that may not view this as a career, may just be doing this part time to try to make money? Like, how do you get them fired up to provide the kind of experience that you would want them to provide, that Price would want them to provide, that that kind of that you guys do on your own? How do you get them to follow
Well,
suit?
we have lineups every day. So every day before our lunch shift, every day for before dinner shift, going kind of over, say if we got a menu change, which we recently had, going over all the different things new to our menu, and also kind of having fun with it too, like having them talk, see, tell us how they talk to the guests, and kind of getting everyone into it. So it's not just all us talking to them, like they talk to us, and then they learn from each other by bouncing off ideas, like, oh, this is how this is what I say. And also we kind of have games where we like, for example, had a tic-tac-toe game going, where they person who sells something like 3 in a row wins like a dinner shift meal or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic trying to get everybody bought in and on the same team and treating each other like family. And that's a
Right, exactly. And that's like a big part of it, is the, team building, and, working together as a team. Because if you have some conflict there, it doesn't, work. So,
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's a tough. I mean, hiring and firing has got to be one of the. I don't know. I would think that's a challenge of what you do, but if it's
oh, yeah, exactly. Like I said, yeah, it's just finding the right people, and, people who will, hustle when they get here, and, want to be here, versus, people that kind of are just here to make a few bucks and, be done with it. So we try to make it fun, and, try to make them, want to learn from us, and want to make them, be better at what they do.
when you lose people nowadays, is it because you let them go? Is it because they leave on their own, or like what's the?
It's really of both.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of people, kind of, you know, leave just because it's not, for them, or, which happens. And, we try to tell them, just have a lineup the other day about, do what makes you happy. If you're not happy here, like, that's fine. That's, you got to do what you want to do. And, so a lot of it is because of that. It's just like not the place for them. And that sometimes they realize that and want to get into something different. And a lot of them go to school too, so we have a lot of college kids, which is great. But so they end up kind of, you know, doing this part time, and then end up going to do what they went to school for.
Do you have people that I was just talking to somebody earlier out in Colorado saying how they'll have people that just literally don't show up for shifts sometimes, and that's been an issue recently with the students because they got a lot of work and they have this and that and they have busy schedules and but
Oh
they
yeah, I think once a day we
oh,
have that.
now I
Yeah.
will have to ask this because you all use schedule flight. Like, are people saying they did? Like, what's the excuse? Like, what you can't
Oh
say I
my.
didn't know. I didn't know, right? Because it's there's
Oh, they do. You'd be surprised. No, yeah, it's just saying like, I looked at my schedule wrong, or,
mm,
um, so it's kind of, and that's why schedule fly is so nice. So, to be able to being able to approve shifts, being able to, hey, that wasn't approved. And, we do have consequences obviously for that, but, it makes it easy, and it makes it easy for the employees too to see who can, work for them if they need to get it covered. But
yeah,
um
yeah, yeah. I just always find that fascinating. I mean, that's kind of what we part of what we built this for is for
oh,
it's like
people
you're
come
not
up with
having to call in and
excuses.
get your schedule anymore. You're not having to drive to the restaurant. It's
Exactly.
literally right there at your fingertips. But
Oh, I know. Oh,
but
yeah, there's a ton of
that's
so
hilarious.
yeah, but definitely it's so nice happening though.
Well, so you've taken on. I guess it sounds like you've just taken on more and more responsibility over time. And
Right.
how do you? I mean, how do you find like that? There's a lot of hours. You clearly have a strong work ethic, and you work really hard. Are you able to find a good? Is it tough to find a good balance with things outside of work, or are you have you able to figure out that formula? Because that seems like something that's always a bit challenging as well in hospitality.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes obviously the hours, and it depends on the season too. Because when I was working at Chow Daddy's, on the island, it's a tourist area, so um, the obviously in the summertime it would be crazy busy, and then completely dead in the winter. So it was kind of you're working crazy hours in the summer, but then it kind of balances out in the winter. You get that kind of break almost where you're not working those long hours every single day and working that extra shift. And so, I mean, it's, you kind of have to take the good with the bad, kind of, so you have the summer, but you look forward to the winter, where it's slower.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just kind of nice. But at Truffles in Bluffton, so it's more consistent. So it's kind of like all year round. Obviously with Christmas and Thanksgiving, obviously those that's much busier and the springtime. But for most of all, like the Truffles in Bluffton is definitely more consistent. So, um, but
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. Let me ask you this: do people, when you're interviewing these days, um, are they asking to learn about the culture? Like, are they looking for a place where they feel like the culture is really family oriented and something? I mean, do they look for that, or are most people just trying to just convince you to hire them? I'm just curious about like
No.
what people are thinking through as they're applying for hospitality jobs these days.
No, we really don't get that much off. Like just trying to find a job, or where we do ask them, why here, and oh, I need the money. So, or I don't know, like, kind of getting those answers. Not really, those people that are, oh, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, I'm going to school for hospitality. We do find that once in a while, but often it's really more of kind of like I'm working school. Most people are in school and they're kind of just working. here to make some extra money.
Do you know pretty quickly if somebody's not going to work out?
Um, yeah, I would say like a good bit. It's yeah, that first impression, just kind of like the energy when you're first interviewing them, and seeing how they are right off the bat, and and kind of seeing just talking with them and seeing their past work experience and stuff like that. You can usually tell, but there have been some times where you think they're a star and they just don't work out.
What happens there? Like, okay, so somebody sells you on them. You go, okay, this person's going to be great. And then what happens? Like, do you know within a week or two of them on the job, do you realize,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
okay,
It's just either like not showing up or just um
enthusiasm, energy, stuff like
yeah,
that? I mean, you can
exactly.
teach some. Like, do you hire more for experience or is it more for personality?
I would say more for personality because
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like for me, like I just think about myself, like I never really was in the restaurant business or anything like that, and I was so thankful that not having that much experience, I was able to get this job and come so far, and so it's not necessarily you can help teach someone to learn the business and learn to be a server, but you can't like fix someone who doesn't have that energy, who doesn't have that. You can't teach them to smile. Like,
yeah, that's right. Exactly, exactly. Well, cool. Well, listen, Amy, you are a busy young lady, I know, and I appreciate you very, very much taking the time to do this. Y'all have a great organization down there. We're stoked to serve you. We're proud of that. We love serving folks that just love what they do and are passionate about it and are doing great work, and I know y'all are. So I appreciate the time very much, and always happy to help if you need anything. But I'll let you go about your day. But thank you very much for taking the time to do this.
well, thank you so much. And like I said, I love Schedule Fly and having that. So thank you too.
Well, that's nice of you to say that. I do appreciate that very much. Well, anytime I can do anything for you, let me know. I'll let you go. Tell Price I said hello, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, I will. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, take care. Bye.